work began in Romania on the design of its own guns capable of combating tanks with armor resistant to anti-shells. At that time, the Royal Army had only one such gun, the 75mm Vickers anti-aircraft gun, produced in Romania under license. It was actively used in battles near Stalingrad in 1942, and when Romania switched to the side of the anti-Hitler coalition, it was used against former allies. But the 75mm gun model 1936 was too heavy, 2,500 kilograms, and quite labor-intensive to produce for Romanian industry. Moreover, the anti-aircraft gun could still be used as an anti-tank weapon, but it was needed for its primary purpose. The army leadership wanted a sufficiently light gun that could equally fire both anti-tank and high-explosive ammunition. Both the Red Army and German forces had similar artillery systems. The 76.2 mm Soviet gun ZIS-3 was light, 1,120 kilograms, and simple to produce, 610 parts, but the muzzle velocity of the shell, 680 meters per second, and thus its armor penetration left much to be desired. The German Rak-40 was heavier, 1,430 kilograms, but had far better ballistic characteristics, 792 meters per second. The German gun consisted of 1,200 parts and was complex to produce. The well-known Romanian designer Colonel Valerian Nestorescu came up with the idea of combining the technological features of the ZIS-3 carriage and the high ballistic characteristics of the M1936. This quickly fulfilled the military's request for a unified field gun for the Romanian army, significantly reducing the time needed for development. After testing the 76.2 mm Soviet guns, F-22 and ZIS-3, the German Pak-40, and the Romanian 75 mm guns Vickers/Rossini M1936, a licensed version of the British Vickers model 1931, it was decided that the prototype of the new gun would consist of parts from all the listed artillery pieces. Several prototypes were assembled. The third sample became the pre-production model. The barrel from the Romanian M1936 gun was mounted on the carriage of the Soviet gun, and the muzzle brake was borrowed from the German Pak-40. The splinter shield protecting the crew was original, structurally similar to the Pak-40. The 75 mm Reșița Model 1943 fired a subcaliber projectile called Costanescu, which was a combination of the German projectile PZGR-40, Panzergranate 40, and the British shell casing Vickers 75 by 495 mm R, at a speed of 1,030 meters per second, 3,400 feet per second, compared to 990 meters per second of the German gun. However, this high initial velocity was achieved at the cost of a shorter barrel life, 500 shots, compared to 3,000 shots for the Pak-40. The 75 mm Reșița Model 1943 had a maximum elevation angle of 35 degrees, which allowed it to also be used as a field gun. This was almost as much as the 37 degrees of the Soviet ZIS-3, a field gun, and significantly more than the 22 degrees of the German anti-tank gun Pak-40. The barrel of the Romanian gun could also tilt a little more, -7 degrees compared to -5 degrees for the two other guns. This made the Romanian gun possibly the most versatile in its class during World War II, surpassing its Western and German counterparts.